This story highlights why I identify with the eschatological view on agency. That is, that human nature can be changed, but the human condition cannot. We are born with the human condition and cannot change it. We all live and we all die. We all have emotions, learn, and we all have to eat and drink to survive. Human nature, on the other hand, is far more complex in certain aspects. For instance, in this story you can see that the main character is trying his best to get his needs met. He needs to make money in order to eat, have a roof over his head, and in essence survive. Human nature says you have to go out and get what you need to survive or die off. The term survival of the fittest comes to mind. In this story you can see how the main character is met with an issue that a good number of people face. They are looking for work, purpose, and a way in life. Human nature in the inner city says that if you are hungry or need something, you must take it from someone weaker than you. If you choose to go a less violent route, you can sell drugs to get money and care for yourself. My character was faced with the realities of these choices, but instead desired to do something productive with his issue. He wanted to find a way out of his despair by joining the military. He chose to take a different path than he had seen before. His nature changed when he became a Christian. At first, he relied on what he could do to better his situation. He tried to do everything in his power to achieve his goals. He tried to get work, but no one ever called him back. He tried going to the Air Force, but getting off to basic training was delayed. He tried going to the Army, but they needed medical records. Once the character chose to relinquish his way and looked up to God to submit to God's will, he chose to rely on the new nature given to him by God. The nature that says, I put my trust in the Creator and not myself. You can see that once the character stopped doing all of what he could do and let God work his will, things changed for the better. A supernatural change began to occur. Overall, the character is given a new opportunity at college and at work. Everything miraculously works out in his favor. He not only is able to go back to college, but he also receives a job and a free education as a result. If the character had chosen to go to the military, who knows where he would have ended up or what his life trajectory would have been. If we are to have any hope in this world, we will have to believe in the eschatological view. Although you can argue that the human condition can change, it is pretty well proven throughout time that it often doesn't. We all know what human nature looks like. We are all born with it. However, I believe there is also historical evidence for the change in human nature and the difference in human nature based on the society you live in around the world. One thing we all can agree on in this life is that we have choices to make. We can choose how we decide to live our lives with respect to laws. Even then, we can choose to obey or disobey the law. We can choose a life of crime, a life of drug addiction, a life of work, a life that is after only money, a life that is after status, and a life that is after only fame. We can make so many different choices that affect the way we live, that affects our nature as humans. That choice is what gives us our nature, what we learn, how we develop, and how we carry ourselves. It is all an extension of our nature. All of these reasons is why I believe that human nature can change, although the human condition cannot.